Hi, I'm Erin. I'm a realtor with Long Realty here in the foothills. I'm here today with another community interview, a business interview. I'm really excited. I've just done a little research on this company, but we have Rob Tatum, and he is with Tucson Wellness MD. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm fantastic. It's just a beautiful day in Tucson again, right?
It is perfect time of year here. Perfect.
Perfect time of year.
Yeah.
So kind of as we've talked about in other interviews that I've done, just really trying to spread the word about our local amazing community businesses here in Tucson, really focusing on the foothills. So as we know, I interviewed John Smalley a couple weeks back with Pest Friends, and this was a referral from him. So I'm really excited to find out more about what you do. And especially as an aging woman, 48 years old, after reading your site, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could get addicted. So I gotta reel it in and obviously learn a little bit more. So let's start by just kind of finding out a little about you. Are you, as you told me earlier, you are actually an original Tucsonian, which is so rare.
Correct. I grew up in Tucson. I finished up at Tucson High. I went to play sports after high school. I lived in Texas. I've been to Wisconsin. I've lived overseas. And I moved back to Tucson in 2003. So I've done a bit of traveling before that, before starting my career. And then I'm back and I still travel quite a bit. But yeah, that's the short version.
Tucson's your home base. That's great. I love it here.
It is. Yeah. I've been a lot of places. I know people don't like Tucson. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So I'm back, and I think I could live a lot of places, but you just can't beat the weather. I just love it. Yeah.
I'm from Seattle, like I said. I mean, 9 months out of the year, and it's gray. I love all my friends up there, but it's hard for me to go back. I mean, I'll be honest. If it's not the middle of summer, perfect weather. My brother lives up there. He's a pilot for Alaska Airlines, so I do get a chance to come and go. So, which is great.
Okay. Yeah. My wife's a flight attendant. Our in-laws, her sister and our brother-in-law live in Portland, so not too far from there.
So what airline? Just curiosity.
United.
Okay.
But she flies Alaska to go directly to Portland. It's a direct flight from here.
It's a great flight from here. Absolutely. Okay. So let's start a little. So you said you're from here. So give us a little of your background. That would be great. You said biology, some other kind of
Yeah, I specialize in evolutionary biology. All my post-grad work was based on that. Chemistry and nutrition are my other backgrounds. But most of my knowledge has come from more real world research, not so much just the books. I learned early when I started traveling, living abroad, that the books were a good guideline and the professors set a good example. But as you travel, you start to see that a lot of things don't really add up there in the books. And I'm really happy to see a lot of research now coming about that shows that the books aren't always right, and there's other ways to do things, and it's a very open-minded approach now.
I love that.
Yeah, my background focuses in research, and we bring that to Tucson Wellness MD based on what I've actually observed in real life.
Amazing. So now let's talk about Tucson Wellness MD. So what are kind of I guess if you can give us a scope of what you do there, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, we focus on longevity. So that's a very broad term. It mainly means energy, performance, anti-aging. So we kind of joke like, you can get old, we just don't want you to age, right? So you talk about being 48, but that's just, it's an arbitrary number, the way we see it. Stamina, and we just make you feel good in your environment. So most of our clientele, they don't even exercise. What's often misunderstood is maybe 10% of our clientele actually exercise. Most people think we're some fitness clinic. We don't do that. What we do is give you the energy and that feel good to do what you like to do. So if you like to travel, if you like to tailgate, you like happy hour, if you're a realtor, construction workers, we have tons of law enforcement, we have Homeland Security that comes in, TPD, Sheriff's Department, just that real world feeling. And you just want to feel better doing it. We try to beat that daytime fatigue. That's what we're really good at. So instead of crashing midday, we just help you plow through that without making a ton of additions to your life.
Amazing.
That's pretty summed up.
I'm not a fan of working out. I'll put it out there. I have to force myself to work out because I feel like it's the healthy thing to do. And I know I feel better after, but I hate it. So I really need to talk to you.
Right, well, that's the idea. We kind of override your body and make it so nutrient dense and so hydrated that it kind of offsets people who don't work out. So some people work out to get the blood flowing. Well, we just make you kind of put you in like super mode essentially, so you can override that lack of exercise or poor dietary, eating plans or whatnot. So it's a little bit different. But of course, we do have people from Tour de Tucson and mountain climbers and all these people that come in that really want that edge, and that's fantastic. We do have a percent of those, but then we have people who just want to feel good daily.
That's amazing. And I know there's like, what is it? I don't know if you have those. I have a friend who gets vitamin B shots. Is that something that you guys do there? I'm not real sure.
Yeah, we do B12. B12 has been around quite a bit. We have, I want to say we've evolved beyond that. We definitely do B12, no doubt. Sorry, my cat's running around chasing something. Okay, so
it's okay. That's what's great about this. So.
I just want to knock over the camera. That's all I'm watching. But we have lots of injections now, and we specialize in IV infusions. We have roughly 7 to 8 IV infusions that are specific to us that through research with our Chinese medicine doctor and Dr. Profield, we've come to this idea of optimizing those kinds of injections. So B12 is definitely a staple. But I would say vitamin D is a huge one, even in Tucson, which most people don't know. Most people are vitamin D deficient here, and it's shocking. And to me, that's we use more vitamin D than even B12. Just to kind of give you an update of what we're doing now. B12 is awesome, but there are a number of injections people need or IV infusions, not just B12. B12.
So what does something like that look like? Is it does it take a period of time to do it, or is it something that's just an injection and you leave?
It's typically an IV is just 1 to 2 IVs a month. Okay. Most people need 1, and then every 6 weeks you're fine, depending on if you've changed your eating habits and your water consumption, all these other things, dietary intake, multivitamins, stuff like that.
Got it.
Most of our clientele come in weekly because they prefer that we give the injection. They don't want to take the injection home. So we have about 60% of clients that show up weekly. It takes about 5 minutes. We're very VIP oriented. We try to defeat that medical feeling of sitting there for 45 minutes and going back for 15 minutes and being seen for 5 minutes. We try to get people in and out 5 to 15 minutes tops. We have a lot of working clientele, so they'll swing in before picking up their kids from school or during their lunch break or just on their way home. So we really cater to the modern working individual.
Perfect. So I assume that if somebody is kind of wanting to, maybe, like you said, if they're already, bike riders or whatever, and they want to go further with it, or somebody like me, I assume you schedule a consultation would be kind of the first step for somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Our consultations are no cost. We don't want people to run out the door. We're not salespersons. We just have people come in, and we have a tier system. You come in, we explain some basics up to, we always start people at the very bottom, kind of like your control. And then we can go all the way to, it's like a tier 10, where if you want tons of treatment, or if you just need something very basic, we don't give you more than you need.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the consultation is no cost. You meet with our nutritionist, who is also the wellness director, and our nurse practitioner. Everyone meets with those two first. That's all included, and it doesn't cost you anything.
Wow. And then you kind of set up a plan and go from there.
Correct. Yeah. Based on what you want. Again, it's client specific. So if you come in and you say, I want this, and that's where we guide you. Or if you don't know anything, you don't know what's wrong, then we guide you through there too. So we simplify the approach 100%. So people come in and say, look, I just don't feel good. What do you recommend? And we'll take it from there. We make it very, very easy to follow. That's very easy to follow. Yeah.
I was in there yesterday. It's a really, really nice place. Want to compliment you on that. So
thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. So like I said, this is exciting. So how long have you been in business now?
This is our 4th year.
Okay.
Our 4th year here. I was partners a place in Houston and Denver, and I branched off from there and came here because I had my own ideas. One was more chiropractic focused. One was specific kind of Chinese medicine. And I wanted more of a day-to-day performance clinic, not performance in necessarily for athletics or anything, but just day-to-day performance. That's taking care of your kids, walking your dogs, that kind of performance. You just feel
living your best life. Living your best life. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. We believe invest in yourself is our motto. And it's live better, not average is the full thing, because no one wants to be average. You want to feel good. And we help you do that.
I quit drinking on January 1st, and it's amazing. And so I'm just looking at all these things that I've have not been doing because of that. I feel 20 years probably of pretty heavy drinking, and
yeah.
And I'm fine putting it out there. I don't even care. So it's things like this just excite me. It's kind of I just want to get to that next level, things that I feel like my body hasn't been able to do because of, really being dependent, on that. So I'll definitely be coming in for a consultation. I'll tell you that right now. So you might not be able to get rid of me. Is there anything else that you want to add about kind of what you guys do? Or I guess I did have a quick question though. Do you guys deal with pain management? My husband just recently got diagnosed with some pretty severe arthritis in his lower back.
Correct. Our pain management is completely natural.
Okay.
So we aim to heal the problem. We don't mask it. So we don't do pain medication. We recently partnered with the University of Utah. Mm-hmm. And from there, we get what's called amniotic fluid. So it's kind of the next step beyond what stem cell treatment was. I know you heard of stem cell. I don't want to bore everyone with that. But this is the next step beyond stem cell. It's a non-cellular version. So when people have pain, we treat them a number of ways. We do a lot of Prp injections. That's platelet-rich plasma. That's just taking your blood, spinning it, putting it back in there. We do IGF-1 LR3, which is a peptide, which is kind of like a precursor to human growth hormone. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people heal that way. Of course, we have hormone treatment, which is testosterone treatment. We have 3 different versions of testosterone. That also helps the people heal if it's a muscle injury. Mm-hmm. And of course, amniotic is this huge thing that's coming along. We're the only person I think in Arizona has it. I know Tucson doesn't have it. And we treat hair restoration. We even do that with amniotic fluid of knees, any joint, lower back. We don't treat the spine. We don't treat the neck area. And that usually heals the problem. So it's in lieu of surgery. Mm-hmm. So people are trying to avoid surgery. We have a lot of golfers that come in that have shoulder pain. That's mm-hmm. huge on amniotic fluid. A lot of construction workers, their wrist and fingers hurt. We inject there. Mm-hmm. And that helps take care of that. And then a lot of people that with tennis elbow, not just from playing tennis, but we treat tons of that. Tucson, obviously, tennis elbow, even though it's not tennis specific, it's mm-hmm. common here from all the tennis and golf that's Tucson based. So
like the carpal tunnel type thing, kind of sort of.
Correct.
Yeah.
Osteoarthritis, rheumatoid, any kind of arthritis, basically we treat there. Again, but we did not pain management. It's more like healing management. So we treat the pain with healing practices, not drugs. I'm with you on the drugs. I don't mind drinking alcohol. Again, I override myself because I own the clinic. So yeah, I've learned how to treat myself to override those, that kind of down feeling you have from alcohol or over alcohol consumption. The idea is here we try to heal people because remember, we're a longevity clinic. Ours, we're longevity based. So we do a lot of skincare as well for the long term. PRP and microneedling skincare is our number one. Of course, we still do filler and Botox. So some people want more of an instant result. Mm-hmm. But again, we're treating people for long term.
I love
it. And that's the goal. We've had clients since we've opened. We've had clients for as long as we've been open, day one, a number of clients. So it's awesome to see them always coming back in because it speaks to the product, right?
Absolutely. It's like I said, it's progressive. I think mm-hmm. it's great. It's not your traditional. And I love the idea of kind of like helping to prevent rather than, waiting for it to happen and trying to fix it, so I definitely like that. So this was great. I mean, I really want to thank you for being here today. Mm-hmm. And I'm just excited to get the word out even more about what you're doing here in Tucson. So I guess that's it, unless you have anything else to add.
No, not at all. I appreciate the time, Erin, and thanks for reaching out to us.
Absolutely. All right. See you next time, everyone.